Okay, so recently, Barcelona haven't been doing a bit too well. I mean, if you've seen the Super Cup, Barcelona got absolutely decimated in the last two halves. And as you can see, Marco Asensio just completely finished them off. Barcelona look like a finished club. This is the first time in like 9 years where they've looked inferior to Real Madrid. And to me, it's like really painful to see because I grew up watching Barcelona and I loved. And as a United fan, of course, I used to watch, because we had Sky, I used to watch some of Barcelona's games, and I love seeing their tiki-taka passing. It was really entertaining to watch. But obviously, you know, I was a United fan, so didn't really say much about it. But yeah, so I decided to do a video. I did some research and about how I feel Barcelona can reach new heights again. Okay, so first off, what I feel Barcelona need to do is change their president. Okay, it's all over Twitter. So many Barcelona fans absolutely despise Bartomeu, or whatever his name is. He's just been I did my research. He's been a terrible president. Asensio, the guy who scored that amazing goal against Real Madrid, they could have bought him for 4.6 million, but they chose that brilliant Brazilian right back that they're currently using, Douglas. I mean, he's world class in his own. That's why he's not heard of, or he doesn't really play anymore. And I think he's leaving anyway. So good decision made. Applauds. Don't see why people want him out. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then Xavi, Iniesta. They've been dominating Barcelona's midfield, but Xavi's retired. He's gone. Who have they replaced him with? Angel Gomez? I don't think so. Rakitic is alright, but he's not as consistent as Xavi was. And Angel Gomez, Arda Turan. Are you trying to take the monkeys? Arda Turan is who he's tried to. The lack of quality players that they haven't brought in, and they sold Neymar, which in its own they tried to get Verratti, ended up losing Neymar, which is a big loss, and they've struggled to replace. I mean, Dembele Coutinho talks haven't exactly gone planned. I mean, nothing's been agreed with any of the players. So whatever's going on, the fact that they also sold promising young players such as Thiago, who's bombing it in Bayern, Grimaldo, who plays for I think it's Benfica, Spanish left back. He'd been doing bits. He got linked with United as well. Another wonder kid called Mbula, they just recently sold, and Bartra, who they sold to Dortmund. It's just like Cruyff would hate to see this. Barcelona selling young players when they've been integrating young players into their team along with some new signings for years, and they just done well. They've just been amazing. Also, he allowed Dani Alves to leave. Why would she allow? Because he was too old, and then they're apparently planning to do that with Iniesta and let him go on a free. I mean, Dani Alves has still been a top right back. He's not showing much signs of decline. He's done well, so selling him really doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, he had a bad season and then sell him makes sense. But he hasn't. He's been consistent. He's been quality. Still for his age at 33, he's still bombing it. It's unfair. It's just unfair. President, change. First off, get rid of him. Just get rid of him. The second change that I think Barcelona can make to go back to their amazing ways of old is make some key signings. I mean, Paulinho for 40 million euros. I'm just like, you could have got Seri from Nice, who's mad. You could have got Nabil Keita, who's mad. But you go for Paulinho, a guy that was poor at Tottenham. He's just a poor man's Luis Gustavo. He's a poor man's Fernandinho. What are you doing, signing Paulinho? Another reason why they should change their president. It's just ridiculous. If they want to go back to being great, they have to sign Dembele and Coutinho. Hands down. That won't solve all of their problems, because there's another thing that I need to address that they need to sort out. But it will at least be as if they're trying to replace people like Iniesta, Neymar who's left, and Dembele, to be honest, is just an insane player, as you will see from this clip here. And also, Coutinho is a player in the making. I feel that if he can step up to Barcelona, I think that level of I think he'll just do better as a player, being around players like Messi, Suarez, eventually, hopefully, Dembele. It will probably boost up his numbers of goals and assists that he might contribute to the team. Renato Sanchez. I mean, if you're looking to replace Sergio Busquets, Paulinho, I don't think is exactly the way to go. He's old. He's 29. Most of the club's players are aging. Adding another aging player is not going to help. Someone like Renato Sanchez, who wants to prove himself that he is a world-class player, who hasn't been getting enough first team in that Bayern Munich team. Someone who's willing to work, who will work so hard just to get that place. Renato Sanchez, he's young, and I think he can take that Busquets role. And Verratti, it's just they need, if they can't get Coutinho, they have to break the bank for Verratti. He's just a quality midfielder. He's just amazing. Okay, he is amazing player. Why Conte didn't really play much during the World Cup, the Euros? Maybe because he's injured. I genuinely do not know if he was fit and he didn't play. I genuinely do not know what's wrong with Conte. Verratti is a quality midfielder. Alright, so the last thing that I feel that if they change this will definitely put them back close to being on par with Real Madrid. I think if they do, not only making key signings, not only changing their president, but I feel like they need to go back to basics. I think if I look at the Real Madrid game yesterday, the two games, I saw a statistic. This was the first El Clasico that Real Madrid had more ball possession. In 31 El Clasicos, Barcelona have had more ball possession. I mean, the thing was, they dominated and they would have probably gone on to one. They had more ball possession. That's Barcelona. The word possession and Barcelona, you cannot separate them. They're literally stuck together thanks to Johan Cruyff's brilliant tiki-taka fluid 4-3-3 system that he introduced, and Louis van Gaal, etc., putting up Javiernathaniel. I'm going off topic. My point is, go back to basics. If you watched the Real Madrid game yesterday, they were too over-reliant on Messi. It was like it was like the manager and the president and all the players there were just like giving the ball to Messi and they're like, do something. They're just like poking him with a stick, hoping he'd do something. He's 31 years old. 30, I think he's 30. He's 30 years old. He needs world-class good players around him. Deulofeu does not cut it. An aging Suarez who I think he's coming up to, he's peaked. I think he's getting close to that end where his career is getting finished. He needs to go back to Uruguay or something, like most players from South America do. Go back to their home country and play for the team that they originally started off. Because where was he in the Super Cup? Just didn't see him there, to be honest. I think they just need to sort out their formation. Go back to the 4-3-3 tiki-taka players. Get in the signings, alright? They need to think of a way to compensate for defence. PK's getting old. Okay, if you're playing a high line against Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Benzema, Asensio, Isco, Marcelo, Carvajal, every single one of those players I just said have pace. You do not sit up with a high line when you're playing against players or teams that are have really pacey strikers. And I just run in behind. It's so easy. Too much space is left on the line. Sit deeper. That's what they did with Luis Enrique. They sat a bit deeper and they were able to regain possession. They're a bit more direct. But my point is, they just need to go back to the basics. Simple tiki-taka football that they play. They need to sort out and work. And they need to compensate for Messi. Messi's getting older. It's obvious that him playing right wing does not work anymore. He is not as quick. He's not going to be constantly making. He'll still make those burst times when he'll burst through like 3 or 4 players and then make an amazing shot or try to or cross it or play it through to another player. But he needs to play in a more central, maybe deep line playmaker. One thing I remembered Messi doing when he was just a few years ago, he used to always do this thing where he'd do a few tiki-taka passes with Dani Alves. Then Dani Alves would go down the line, it would take the defender out, and Messi could just cut in from the right-hand side. He would look up, and if it wasn't Neymar, it was Alba. If it wasn't Alba, it was Neymar. They would just bomb, and then Messi would just ping it all the way on the other side, and they'll literally just play it back. Neymar or Alba would get it, play it back across goal, and Suarez would just ping in. That was one thing that they always used to they used to do a lot. If it wasn't under Guardiola, it was under Luis Enrique. They used to do it a lot. I mean, it's so painful to see this. It just hurts. I mean, Semedo was a good signing. I mean, they need a new right back. I mean, Bellerin would have been better for obvious attacking reasons. But, you know, I just think they need to go back to basics, play the simple possession 4-3-3 football, get in replacements for the aging players, change the not the formation, but the positioning of players so that it can compensate for the fact that if some players are aging, then maybe you need to play a bit deeper and stop always playing out the back. They need to vary it. Even if it is the tiki-taka football, they've got to tweak it, modernise it, so that the fact that it can compensate for the aging players and it can also come in and work for, and it can also come in, dominate and beat teams and actually give Real Madrid some challenge. Because looking at this, if they don't change anything, if they do not at least sign Dembele or Coutinho, Real Madrid are just going to win the league. Not only going to win the league, they're going to win the Champions League again. Because quite frankly, no one else in Europe can beat Real Madrid if it's not Barcelona, unless it's United or Liverpool, or Liverpool. I mean, I say Liverpool if they actually replace Coutinho and play the hype. I'm going off topic. My point is, change your president. It's obvious people are unhappy with him. He's made bad decisions. He's shown that he's just not up for the job. Get rid of him. Second of all, get some signings. Get rid of players that are not good, that are not Barcelona standard. For example, Angel Gomez. For example, Arda Turan. Get in. If you want to use players that for squad depth, then use your academy. It's La Masia. They produce amazing players. Sergi Samper, Sergi Roberto. These are players that haven't been given chances, but are sitting on the bench, not being used. Alan Halilovic has been sold. I'm just sitting here thinking, when was he ever given the chance to prove himself? He was supposed to do it on loan. The one or two appearances does not count as being the opportunity to prove yourself. He needs runs of games like Marcus Rashford. They just need to bring in some players, mix in some young players, get some chemistry working, okay, and change the tactics, go back to basics so it can compensate for the aging players, can be adapted to fit in new signings, and can also and can also be able to dominate against opponents. Because quite frankly, Real Madrid, watching La Liga right now is pointless, because at this moment in time, there's just no way any team, apart from Atletico Madrid, I don't even think Atletico Madrid are the same as they used to be anymore. I don't know what's happened with them. That's a whole nother video. But my point is, Real Madrid, they're the giants in Europe. They're the team to beat. And quite frankly, Barcelona just aren't good enough anymore. So things need to change. Those are my opinions. That's what I think needs to change. What do you think needs to change? What do you think Barcelona could do? Any other teams that you feel that need to change? Comment down below. If you want me to do more videos like this, name a team in the description. And also, if I hit 5 likes, I will do Sonic Mania Let's Play. I bought the game, so 5 likes, Sonic Mania, 10 likes, Q&A. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Oh yeah, I stopped doing the intro because apparently some people are saying the intro is a bit dead, so I will do my own intros with my own creativity. Yay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the later.